Hello again. Good morning. How are you doing today? How's everything? Everything okay? Yeah? Well, good morning. Yes, it's another day. Another day is starting. Another day full of potential opportunities for you and for me and for Marta and for everybody and for the world. The world is still turning. Yes, me pica. The world is still turning. It didn't stop. During the night, the world didn't stop turning. The world, the earth, turns on its axis, su eje. The axis is more or less like this, un poco así, ¿no? And the earth is turning on the axis, yeah. And the world is turning at 1,660 kilometers per hour. Very fast. The world is turning. And the world is also orbiting the sun. Okay. So the world is the earth is traveling through space very quickly. But I don't notice it. You know, when I come here in the morning, 1,660 kilometers an hour, it doesn't seem. Very interesting world. And with the atmosphere, everything is very interesting. Now, today is going to be a good day for me. It's going to be a good day for Marta, and I think it's going to be a good day for you. And it's going to be a good day for Anna Barghini and Carl Polster, because they're very busy. They're too busy to even worry about the weather or even to worry about anything, because they're so focused on the supply of, creo que eran 16,000 asientos mensuales de coches. Yeah, 16,000 car seats per month by train to Stuttgart. It's a lot of work. Manufacturing the car seats, shipping them to the train, to the containers, the seats, boom, and they go to Stuttgart. A train full of car seats, 16,000 car seats per month. So every day, they're sending car seats. All right, that's 16,000. That's 192,000 car seats per year. It's for Mercedes's small models. Okay, so as you remember from yesterday, Carl Polster and Anna Barghini are flying back to Milan from Athens after having spent, después de haber pasado, after having spent only 1 week on the island, fijaos, digo on cuando es una isla, on the island of Santorini. In Santorini, on the island of Santorini. All right, only 1 week. Why? Because they don't have time for more. They have a lot of work. Why? Because Luigi Barghini and Anna Barghini's company has finally successfully signed a contract to supply 16,000 car seats every month to Stuttgart, to the factory of Mercedes-Benz. All right. And so they got married a month ago. A month ago, they made the decision to get married. Yes, and Anna made the decision, not Carl. Carl was crazy about Anna. From the moment he saw her for the first time, que belleza, what a beauty. The first time he saw her, he fell in love. For Carl, it was love at first sight. For Anna, no, it wasn't love at first sight. But as she got to know Carl better and better, she realized that he was the right man for her future, for her and for her future. He was, and he still is, the general purchasing manager at Mercedes-Benz. But the situation is changing, or has changed. All right. Anna wasn't sure at the beginning about Carl. She knew that a lot of men were interested in her, but she always suspected that they were interested in her estate too, her money. All right. She found Carl to be a very interesting man, very intelligent. He could talk in depth about many different subjects. He was very sincere and considerate, etc. And he was clearly in love with her. All right. And she felt a strong affection for him. So they got married. All right. When they announced their wedding, al anunciar la boda, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting married. Okay, when they announced their wedding, when I announced my wedding, when she announced her wedding, when he announced his wedding, when we announced our wedding, when they announced when they announced their wedding, Carl resigned. Dimitió. Carl resigned from his position as general purchasing manager at Mercedes-Benz and created for himself a new position. All right, he created for himself a new position called supply coordinator, coordinador de suministros, o de aprovisionamiento, o de la provisión, de proveedor. Supply coordinator, to coordinate, the verb coordinar, to coordinate. So he resigned as general purchasing manager at Mercedes-Benz, and he created a new position called supply coordinator. He would live in Verona. Viviría. No han empezado todavía. He would live in Verona with Anna and make sure that the business between Verona and Stuttgart was smooth and efficient. Smooth and efficient. Smooth. Liso. No rugoso. Yeah. The surface is very smooth. Yeah, it's smooth. Smooth skin. Yeah. Smooth. Yeah. This part of my arm, the skin is smooth. This part, it's less smooth. It's not rough. Rough is lo contrario, rugoso, áspero. Smooth. S-M-O-O-T-H. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Operador liso. ¿Eso qué significa? No, suave. Opera de manera suave. Smooth operator. I think Carl Polster is a smooth operator. Yes. Anna is Italian. Maybe she's more impulsive. I don't know. But Carl Polster has resigned from his position at Mercedes-Benz as general purchasing manager, and he has created a new job with the permission of Mercedes-Benz called supply coordinator. He would live in Verona with Anna and make sure that the business between Verona and Stuttgart was smooth and efficient. Smooth means sin altibajos, sin contratiempos, smooth. No turbulento, sin turbulencias. That's smooth. There's an expression in Spanish and I can't remember it. I can't remember the expression. Yes. Smooth. Quiero que todo vaya lisamente. Se dice en inglés así. Liso. Superficie lisa. Smooth. I want everything to go smoothly. All right. Sin contratiempos, pero hay otra palabra. I can't remember what it is. All right. So, Smooth and efficient, eficiente en constitut, smooth and efficient. Yes. Later, he and Anna would decide whether Carl would continue in the Mercedes organization or stay permanently in Verona, helping Anna run the family business. All right. Fine. His new brother-in-law, Roberto, had just been promoted to the status of partner in Accenture. He's the youngest partner in the history of the company. And his father-in-law, Luigi, he are sure that Roberto will remain outside of the family company, although he will always be a member of the board of directors. Okay, the end of the story. This story has a happy ending. I'm happy to say that the story of the Barghini family and Carl Polster has a happy ending. Everybody's happy. Luigi is happy because his daughter finally is getting married. And his son is moving up in the Accenture organization, and he has been promoted to partner, full partner. And he's the youngest in the history of the company. He's the youngest full partner. Yeah, socio senior aquí, pero jovencito el chico. Yeah, but he's brilliant. And so everything is working out. Yeah. So Anna is married now. They've spent a week in Santorini, but now they're back because in less than a month they have to start shipping, enviando, shipping car seats by train to Stuttgart. We'll see. And Roberto is doing well. The company's doing well. And soon, Anna and Carl will make a decision. For the moment, Carl Polster is still an employee of Mercedes-Benz. He has resigned as general purchasing manager, but he has created a special position as supply coordinator between Verona and Stuttgart. Now, if it's successful, then he will probably resign completely from Mercedes-Benz and join his father-in-law's company in Verona, Luigi's company. We'll see, but that's the end of the story of the Barghinis. The next story, a ver, no, ¿quién nos toca? We've spoken about the Johnson family. You remember? Nancy Johnson. We've spoken about Nigel Perkins and Ronnie Perkins and Luigi Turchi and Luigi Barghini and Anna Barghini. Now we're going to go to Pierre Monet. Monet escrito, traductor. He's a translator, an interpreter in the ministry, the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministerio de Asuntos Exteriores, Foreign Affairs. How much time do I have? Anna. Who's Anna Barghini? Well, I still have a lot of time. All right. We have a lot of time. So I'm going to prepare my expressions later, but in any case, grammar first. Now I'm repeating grammar because I'm speaking about the important grammar, the grammar we use every day, not the advanced grammar. And then, remember, do you remember my trip? Many, many years ago, I took a trip from Madrid to the Dead Sea and back. From Madrid to the Dead Sea, El Mar Muerto, between Israel and Jordan. First, I went to Barcelona, and then I took a ship to Genoa in Italy. And then I hitchhiked from Genoa to Pisa. And then from Pisa, I went to Florence. And then from Florence, hitchhiking, I went to Siena. And then from Siena, I went to Assisi, San Francis of Assisi. And then from Assisi, I went to Perugia. And then from Perugia, I went to Rome. I stayed in Rome for 4 days, and then I hitchhiked to Sorrento on the Bay of Naples. On the Bay of Naples. And then from Sorrento, I went to Salerno in the Amalfi Coast. And then I went to Naples. And then from Naples, I took a train to Brindisi on the Adriatic, on the other side of Italy. And then from Brindisi, I caught a boat to Greece, to Igoumenitsa. And then from Igoumenitsa, I took a bus to Ioannina. I spent 2 days in Ioannina, and then I went to Calambacca, the Meteora geological formations. And then from Calambacca, I went to Delphi, which you call Delfos in Spanish, Delphi. And I visited the Oracle of Delphi, etc. And then finally, I went to Athens. I spent 3 days in Athens, and then I went to Mykonos and Delos. Mykonos and Delos, 2 islands in the Aegean Sea. Delos is where Apollo was born, according to legend. And then I went from Mykonos back to Athens, and then I caught a plane to Tel Aviv, a night flight. When I arrived and then from Tel Aviv, I caught a bus. I was traveling with another friend. We caught a bus to Jerusalem. Hago así porque subes 800 metros. Jerusalem's very high. And then in Jerusalem, we went to, from Jerusalem we went to Jericho. And then from Jericho, we went to Tiberias on the Sea of Galilee. Mar de Galilea. And then from Tiberias, we went to Haifa on the Mediterranean coast. And then from Haifa, we went to Engedi on the Dead Sea. And then from Engedi, we went to Tel Aviv. And then from Tel Aviv, I flew alone. We separated in Tel Aviv. I flew to Istanbul. And then from Istanbul, I took a train to Belgrade, Yugoslavia, today Serbia. And then from Belgrade, I took a train to Milan. And then from Milan, I hitchhiked to Genoa. And then from Genoa, I took a train to Barcelona. And then from Barcelona, I took a train and came to Madrid. And then, y después. No digáis after. See, and then. For example, next in the Christmas time, I'll take a trip to Scotland. First, I'll fly to Liverpool. And I'll rent a car in the airport in Liverpool. And then I'll drive to Newcastle in the north of England. And then I'll drive from Newcastle to Peebles in Scotland. And then from Peebles, I'll go to Edinburgh. And then from Edinburgh, I'll drive to Perth. And then from Perth, I'll go to St. Andrews. And then from St. Andrews, I'll go to Aberdeen. And then from Aberdeen, I'll go to the Loch Ness. A ver si veo el monstruo Lago Ness. I'll go to that. And then from Loch Ness, I'll go to Fort William. And then from Fort William, I'll go down to Stirling. And then from Stirling, I'll go to Glasgow. And then from Glasgow, I'll go down to Preston. Yes. And then from Preston, I'll go back to Liverpool. And then I'll leave the car and come back to Madrid. And then and then. ¿Por qué lo digo tanto? Para que se os quede. Porque el español, cuando habla inglés, piensa después y dice after. Entonces es necesario que oiga and then en contexto 80 veces por día, si es posible. All right, we still have some time, I believe. Yes, we still have some time to do some expressions. I'm on page 152 at the top. Long in the tooth. Ser un poco mayor. I'm long in the tooth. Soy largo en el diente. This is expresión británica. I've heard it, but only a few times. Willie todavía hace bien su trabajo a pesar de ser algo mayor. O sea, entrada en años. Willie still does his job well, despite him being a bit long in the tooth. All right, no gusta esa expresión. Long in the tooth. Long time no see. Oh, esto sí que es a diario. Long time no see. Largo tiempo no ver. Gran jefe, how? Yes. Long time no see es gramática de las cuevas. Sin embargo, se dice, ha llovido mucho, ¿eh? Vaya, hace muchísimo tiempo que no te veo. Dice, Pablo, wow, long time no see. Largo tiempo no ver. Long time no see. Yes. ¿Qué de tiempo? ¿Qué de tiempo? Long time no see. All right. To look at the glass half full or half empty? Well, pessimism and optimism. I think 2 days ago, no, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, I was talking about pessimism and optimism. I'm not sure if I was talking about here or on my radio show. Pessimism, I think it was a radio show. A pessimist and an optimist and realism. All right. But this is an expression. To look at the glass. Mirar el vaso medio lleno o medio vacío, se dice aquí también. Ver el vaso medio lleno o medio vacío. To look at the glass half empty or half full. Well, me. If it's water, it's half full. If it's a good wine, it's half empty. It's a question. No, que no se me acabe. I'm enjoying this wine. It's a delicious wine. Wow. A fantastic bouquet. All right. It's still, solo me queda la mitad. So I'm more pessimistic, let's say, with a good wine. But for water, I don't know, you can go to the kitchen, especially in Madrid. The water in Madrid is the best water in the world. No, this is true. The water that comes down, aquí mejor aquí que en Sevilla, que sí. The water comes down from the Guadarrama. And it's very, very good water. Better than bottled water, in my opinion. People in Madrid are very lucky to have such good water. You're very lucky. In any case, so for you, do you look at the glass half empty or half full? Are you a pessimist by nature or an optimist by nature? Pessimism and optimism. To look down your nose at someone, el último, page 152. Page 152. To look down your nose. Me gusta esta expresión, pero también la expresión española. It means mirar a alguien por encima del hombro, con desprecio. Yeah, it's automatopeic. Yeah, it's a look over your shoulder. But in English, we say to look down your nose. De miras, la mirada baja por el tabique de la nariz hacia la persona. Si tú de forma altiva, yes. Hello, yes. That's to look down your nose at. And we use this a lot in English. She was looking down her nose at me. She was giving me the cold shoulder. Me daba el hombro frío. She gave me the cold shoulder. Ya me por encima del hombro. Me miraba por encima del hombro. She was looking down her nose at me. To look down your nose at. All right, and that finishes page 152. But getting back to pessimism and realism and, pessimistic people. How much time do I have? Do I have enough time? Yeah. No, not really. But in Spain, people equate pessimism with realism. Lo real es pesimista. And that's not true. Realism is neutral. El realismo es centrista, ni izquierda ni derecha. It's in the middle. And realism is what is real. Okay. But here in Spain say, no soy pesimista, soy realista. No, you're pessimistic. You're not realistic. Me, I'm realistic. I see the world as something cool. Como mola el mundo. I see it as something cool. My approach. And for me, it's real. 100% real. I'm a realist. I'm not a optimist. All right. Yeah. But when you say yo soy realista, parece que yo acepto toda la solidez y todo. No. But that's an interesting subject, but I have to say goodbye. See you tomorrow.